2, 1, 0.
Good morning to my fellow members, technical personnel who prepares the program of work, to our YouTube live viewers, good morning. Today, June 19, 2025, is a private conference for contract ID number 25GBJ79. But before we start, I request everyone to please stand for the opening prayer.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. May I request the Secretariat for the selection of the observers for today's private conference.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Our selected official observers, first from the Immigration Presidency is host, is the Philippine Partnership for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas, or the and our official observer for whose is the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for our selection of official observers.
Okay, thank you. Did we send invitation for this activity?
Yes, Mr.
May please show to our video screen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our invited official observers are first Sir Aritao Orata, the Technical Member, Audit Leader of Commission Audit, a letter dated June 11, 2025, was duly received by the COA on the same day. And our second observer is Aritao Corridor, the National Coordinator of Philippine Partnership for the Development of Human Resources in Rural Areas, or the FINRA, from Quezon City. A letter dated June 11, 2025 was sent, invitation to see the observer on Wednesday, June 11, 2025 at 10:32 in the morning. And our last observer is Rasul Ilonina P. Mambio, the President of Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the PCCI, from Belize City. A letter dated June 11, 2025 was sent, invitation to sit as observer on Wednesday, June 11, 2025 at 10:35 p.m. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for our invitation to our official service.
Thank you. Okay, once again, thank you, Engineer Joseph Vigala, the OIC Head of the Procurement Staff. May we have the attendance, please, if we have quorum for today's private conference.
Everyone, I will now proceed with the roll call of attendance. The back members. Engineer Danilo A. Bernabé,
Present.
back chairperson. Engineer Ferdinand D. F. Payabos,
Present.
back vice chairperson. The back regular member. Engineer Harley Rex L. Lopez.
Present.
The back provisional members. Engineer Herbert M. Agudelo.
Present.
And Engineer Noel B. Amador Jr.
Present.
The back secretary, yours truly, Joseph Itegan. The back secretariat members, Engineer Cindy Dela C. Valdez.
Present.
Sir Delmar P. Quirino.
Present.
Sir Paul R. Gonzalez.
Present.
And Ma'am Vivian Zenaida I. Bulan.
Present.
And we also have representative from the end user from the maintenance section, Engineer Manring S. De La Cruz. Therefore, Mr. Chair, majority of attendants who are fees and awards committee are present. Therefore, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Joseph. Since we have a quorum, the Bank Chair now declares that the procurement activity this morning is now officially in order. The agenda for the present conference for contract ID number GPJ09 are the following. Number one, basic contract data. This will be discussed to us by Engineer Andre Estero Cruz. Number two, agenda. Questions, comments from leaders and the price of bank and other representatives of the procuring entity. Number three, requirements of bidding documents to be presented by the OIC head of the procurement staff. Number four, agenda. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals. This will be presented to us through audio recorded. Number five, agenda. Proposed amendment, if there is any. Number six, agenda. Criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, cost qualification and award. Once again, we have a audio recorded for this particular agenda. And number seven, other matters in our agenda, if there is any. And the last, summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin and our agenda to be issued if there is any. But before we start, may I request the Secretariat to please play the audio recorded, particularly for section 22 of RA 9184 and the latest GPPB issuances. Thank you.
Section 22, pre-bid conference. Section 22.1, for contracts to be bid with an ABC of 1 million pesos or more, the bank shall convene at least one pre-bid conference to clarify or explain any of the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents. For contracts to be bid with an ABC of less than 1 million pesos, pre-bid conferences may be conducted at the discretion of the bank. Subject to the approval of the bank, a pre-bid conference may also be conducted upon written request of any prospective bidder. Section 22.2, the pre-bid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJet's posting. Section 22.3, the pre-bid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Section 22.4, the minutes of the pre-bid conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the bank amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplement or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5 supplemental / bid bulletin section 22.5.1 requesting for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted to the bank of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5.2 for purposes of clarifying or modifying any provision of the bidding documents, supplemental or bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Section 22.5.3, any supplemental / bid bulletin issued by the bank shall also be posted in the Philippines, the website of the procuring entity concerned. Is within the premises of the procuring entity. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to inquire and secure supplemental or bid bulletins that may be issued by the bank. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the supplemental or bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with Section 26 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184.
That is all considered for second reading to 2021.
Thank you, Secretariat. We go now to the agenda matter, which is number 1, the basic contract data. This particular agenda will be discussed to us by Engineer Andre de la Cruz from the maintenance section. Andre, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the basic contract data and the business services for contract item 2023. Name of contract, supply and delivery of materials for use in the repairing plants of various national roads and bridges of Nueva Vizcaya, 7A of jurisdiction under work category 18. Traffic services maintenance along Aritao Quirino K0249+165 to K0253+827. Activity 301 site maintenance. Location of the contract. Malasin, Bupang, del Norte, Nueva Vizcaya. Approved budget of the contract. 4,999,237 pesos and 50 centavos. Scope of works. Supply and delivery of materials for use in the repair maintenance of various national roads and bridges. Contract duration. 14 calendar days. Cost of the bidding document. 5,000 pesos. Source of fund, GAA FY 25. Date of bidding, July 2, 2025. For the item description of said contract, 1 unit of coin machine with rated power input 3,300 watts, low load speed 500 RPM, max training capacity of 32 millimeter, net weight of the machine 22 kilograms. 5 pieces of diamond core 3 6 inches with box screw connector with an outside diameter of 160 millimeters, inside diameter of 152 millimeters, and deep length of 450 millimeters. 550 sets of solar pavement level markers and 30 sets of epoxy adhesive type A and B. That's all.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Andre. We go now to agenda number 2. This is comments, questions from leaders of above and other representatives of the procuring entity. Secretariat, do we have any questions, comments, or queries for the discussed contract name?
None, Mr. Chair.
So there is none. We go now to agenda number 3, which is requirements of bidding documents to be presented to us by Engineer Joseph Vegana. Joseph, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the requirements to be documents in the form of leadership or contract with the DPWH Nueva. The item goes item 3. The bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to its project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC. For this purpose, contract similar to the project shall be A. The similar contract refers to supply and delivery materials for use in the repair or maintenance of various national roads and bridges. And B. Completed within 1 year prior to the deadline of distribution and receipt of fees. IDB Clause 7.1, contracting is not allowed. IDB Clause 12, the price of goods shall be quoted in BB within the province of Nueva Vizcaya for this project. The bidder shall bid on all bid items to be bid. Price quoted shall include taxes. IDB Clause 40.1, the bid security shall be in the form declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if its security is in cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft or guarantee, or revocable letter of credit. Or B, the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is in surety bond. IDP plus 10.3, the ABC is 4,999,237 pesos and 50 cents. Any bid with the financial component exceeding the ABC shall not be accepted. IDP clause 20.1, no other licenses and permits are required. IDP clause 21.1, no additional contract documents are required. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of the bidding documents.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. So we go now to agenda number 4. This, agenda number 4 is documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. For this particular agenda, we have an audio recorded, and I request the Secretariat to please play the audio recorded for information of our interested bidders. Thank you.
Requirements for technical and financial documents, procurement for goods and services. 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. Legal documents. A. Valid PhilJEPS registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the IR. Technical documents. B. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And C. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in sections 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and the original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid security declaration, and in conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production/delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales /parts, if applicable, and F. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney SPA of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and to act to represent the bidder. Financial documents. G. The prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity, or NFCC, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. H. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. 2. Financial component envelope. I. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. And J. Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA number 9184 as applicable. K. Certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity.
And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the technical and financial documents for goods and services.
Thank you, Secretary. Do we have any comments, questions, or queries for the submission for the requirements of bidding documents. Documents to be submitted by the bidder including technical and financial proposals.
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. So if there is none, so we're going to sustain the bidding documents as published in the DPWH website and ILJET's website. And therefore, there is no amendments to be made. Okay, we go now to agenda number 6, which is the criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, cost qualification and award. Again, this particular agenda, we have an audio recorded, and I request the Secretariat to please play the audio recorded for this particular agenda. Thank you.
Detailed bid evaluation. For the procurement of goods, the purpose of bid evaluation is to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. 1. The bank shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and, thus, automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided, but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specified as 0 or dash for the said item only that is being offered for free to the government, and B. Arithmetical corrections. Correct computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The bank shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax or VAT, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. 3. In case of discrepancies between A. Bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. B. Total price of the item and unit price of the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. C. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. D. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. 4. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications to identify the lowest calculated bid. Total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified.
Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. 1. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsible for all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the Bids and Awards Committee that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the Bids and Awards Committee its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, It shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, IRR, of Republic Act Number 9184. 3. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the PhilJEP certificate of registration and membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184, and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria, as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to, the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. B. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the goods offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, I. Verification and/or inspection and testing of the goods/product after sales and/or maintenance capabilities in applicable cases, as well as checking the following. A. Delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. B. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price. C. Unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the BAC verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the BAC shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. 2. Ascertainment of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form, and wording, and validity period, as required in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. The determination of the lowest calculated and responsive bid, or LCRB, is guided by sections 34.4 to 34.8 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184. The Bids and Awards Committee will recommend to the board the award of contract to the bidder with the LCRB in accordance with section 57 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA number 9184, which outlines the procedures for the notice and execution of the award.
And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the criteria procedure from DPWH and the execution of award.
Okay, once again, thank you, Secretariat. We go now to agenda number 7, which is the other matters announcement. Secretariat, do we have announcement? Okay, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, for the announcement or reminder, we have only one remaining activity, the open fees on June 19, 2025 at 9 a.m. here in conference room for one goods and services, which is already discussed.
July po pala.
Ay,
July. Hindi na end.
July 2,
July.
2025
Yes, ma'am.
at 9 a.m.
Mag-i-edit.
Review.
Pwede mag-edit.
Hindi po sir.
Or sorry for the
Type.
schedule on July 2, 2025 at 9 a.m. Date contrary press for the one ID number 25GBJ09. The name contracts is valid delivery of materials for use to repair or maintenance of Paris National Books of Bridges of Nueva Vizcaya Second DEO, resolution under work category 80, traffic services, maintenance, allowable Quirino Road K0249+165-K0253+827 for activity 3001, sign maintenance. The ABC is amounting to 4,237 pesos and 50 cents or 40 calendar days contract duration. And that is all, Mr. Chair, so for the reminders.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Joseph. So, the last agenda is the summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin and our addenda to be issued. We have already discussed agenda number 127, and we do not have bid bulletin to be issued since there are no proposed amendments to contract ID number 35GGJ09. Do we have any announcement from my fellow members? There is none. So I have motion for adjournment.
Mr. Chair, we move to the general office of the
Any second the motion? It has been moved and seconded that the procurement activity this morning, particularly the private conference for contract ID number 25GBJ09, is now officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to our YouTube live viewers. Muli, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Meron tayong start.